before I even start talking about the movie, I do owe you guys an apology, as well as an apology to a certain somebody. See, in the last Disney-Vember review, I did say about how this movie is specifically, to me, the one that stars Tony Todd voicing a Disney villain. Turned out I was wrong, and it's not Tony Todd, so I apologize to Tony for getting that wrong, but I'm sure he would have nailed this role. So who got the role? Keith David. Yes, Spawn is the voice of a Disney villain, Dr. Facilier. And he's just as amazing as he always is. Like, even in the weakest of projects, like Tales from the Hood 2, for example, Keith David is one of those actors that always brings 110% to the role. I mean, heck, he was a cameo voice in SpongeBob, for flip's sake, and he treated it like he was trying to win an Oscar. He is one of my favorite voice actors, and I feel really stupid for not recognizing that it was him and not Tony Todd. So I apologize to Keith David. He did an amazing job in this movie as Dr. Facilier, and I apologize for mixing him up with Tony Todd. I apologize. He still does great in this movie. So, putting down my Holy Grail little Spawn tape, now let's get to the actual review of a great movie. A legit great movie. This is pretty much classic Disney brought into the modern age, sort of. It's a 2010s movie, but still somewhat modern, with a really dark edge to it. And you know me, I love it when kids' movies try to be a bit darker. You know, just like a little wink wink nudge nudge to the adults. So you can understand why I personally really appreciate this one. And even outside of that, it's a great movie. What do I mean? Well, welcome back to Disney-Vember. Let me tell you all about it with my review of Princess and the Frog. This is a really good movie. No, scratch that. It's a great movie. Great voice acting, stellar 2D animation. Like, 2D hand-drawn animation, especially in the 2010s, was rare. So, having it here on a big screen theatrical movie is fantastic. The voice acting, excellent. Especially Keith David as Dr. Facilier, who, yes, is up there with Scar and Jafar and Hades for me. One of the most underrated and awesome Disney villains ever. The story is actually really good here, even though despite the fact that it is kind of just, you know, something ends up happening, turning one side of the relationship into an animal, and they have to reconciliate. You know, stuff like that. And we have heard about the whole Princess and the Frog story before this movie even came out, so it's not treading new ground, but it's still really good classic Disney. You get some great songs in there, a really good jazzy kind of tones to it, especially with the music, because this is set in Louisiana. Tia is an awesome, awesome Disney princess. I don't think she's better than Mulan, but she's up there with her and Moana. The writing's great. The pacing's really good here. I already said I love the villain. Like, I could go on and on about this movie, but I don't want to go into spoilers because this is one of those movies that you just need to see for yourself, guys. Do not let its exterior drive you away, because you're in for a great time if you really sit down and give this movie a chance. And no, it's not just because of Spawn, even though he is a huge highlight of the movie and steals every single scene that he's in. No, it's because the rest of the movie is legitimately great and more than deserves your time. So, with all that said, I am happy to give Princess and the Frog a final verdict of a high... Do I want to go 8 or do I want to go 9? I'm going to go with an 8. 8 out of 10. Because it is still classic Disney. It's not really breaking any new boundaries. It's stuff they've already done before, but it's like the best of classic Disney mixed together with the awesomeness of Keith David as the voice of a Disney villain. Mesh those together, you get a fantastic movie, especially for horror fans. So yeah, definitely check this one out. It is absolutely more than worth your time. And like I said, not just because of Keith David, but Keith David is a huge highlight. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time when we tackle Tangled.